time for the ride home in ENC.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
This is your 5 o'clock drive with Patrick Johnson.
Holy mackerel!
More news, more interviews, more ECU stories than you can shake a stick at. Hey, stop shaking that stick. This is the Patrick Johnson Show.
Pirates win! Pirates win!
On 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome to the program.
Do it live!
Yeah,
Do it
absolutely.
live! Do it live! Do it live! Do it live! Do it live!
That's right, doing it live today on this Thursday. Thank you for being tuned in wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Great to have you with us here on this Masters Thursday. And by law, Pilk, you have to wear Masters gear if you own it. So I have on the quintessential Masters green golf shirt. Genuine article here.
I like it. I like it. You didn't get that in your trip to Augusta, though, correct? It's a little newer.
No, I did not. This was, I believe Uncle Bobby got this for me. My uncle that I met a few years ago. And there was a college basketball official that came through that knew my uncle this year. And we visited before one of the basketball games. And, yeah, very good stuff. Hey, before we get started, I keep failing to mention this, and it's on my mind, so I wanted to say this. Congratulations to all involved at the Minges Bottling Group. My friends that I've known for many, many, many years, Miles and Landon Minges, are both elevating to CEO and CFO duties, respectively. They're kind of the co-presidents, if you will, of the company. And their dad, one of the great gentlemen, Jeff Minges, recently retired, beginning of the month, in fact. So a wonderful retirement to Jeff. He'll be able to go to as much Alabama football and ECU sporting events as he wants to now. And congrats to Miles and Lynn. Of course, Minges and Pepsi, great supporters of just about everything in Eastern North Carolina, including our company as well. So we really appreciate that. But I wanted to say that to them today because I have failed to mention it. All these things come, you have a plan, Pilk, and sometimes you're unable to execute that plan because so many of these things come to your mind when the light goes on, if you will. So let's see. Well, no need to spoil the Masters. It's going to be what we're going to go with here in our top 5 at 5. Pilk, may I respectfully make an editorial audible here?
Yep.
Let's do the Masters last so we can give an update of the board going into the break. How does that sound?
Okay.
How do you feel about
Sounds
it?
good.
I know it's a big story today, but there's a few other things we could talk about and kind of lead up because right now, I guess Scotty Scheffler's still out there. And then we might be able to give more of an update on what Scotty's doing. How about that?
No, it sounds good.
They're out there.
Yeah, he's only on 12. Scotty is.
Yeah. I mean, we could go ahead and tell you that there's a two-way tie at the top. Rory McIlroy, who that whole group today was just spraying it off the tee box. Nobody could seem to hit a drive straight, and they were all scrambling. And Rory was able to kind of get it. Was it about 8 or 9? Well, I don't know. What was it?
He birdied 8 and 9. So, yeah. So
okay,
he had
8 and 9 is when he kind of got it going, when he kind of got it out of the ditch. Not that he was in the ditch, but kind of got it back on track and ended up in a tie with Sam Burns at 5 under. And they are a couple shots ahead of a group that includes Patrick Reed, I might add. Let me see. Yes, LSU SEC legend Sam Burns, who went to LSU. All right, let's do our top 5 at 5.
This may very well be our last mission. Let's make it count.
This is the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
It's impossible.
Now some stories you may have heard
You ready?
or catch it for the first time. This is your 5 at 5 with the P-Man.
Number one, the NCAA has come out with their viewership numbers for the NCAA championship game. It was 18.3 was the estimated average, with it peaking around 20.4 million between 11 p.m. and 11:15 p.m. This was the most watched championship game in 7 years. Also the most watched one on the Turner broadcast, so on non-over-the-air television. And this pairs with, I think it was the second most watched women's of all time. And due to all these viewership numbers and winning it on both the men's and the women's side, as well as a second men's team in the Final Four, PJ, $70 million in this TV revenue will go to the Big Ten Conference alone. It pays to be good.
It will space out because they do it in units and it spaces out and it'll be, but I mean, that's 70 million on top of what, 100 million that each school's already getting?
Yeah.
So 70 million divided by its 58 members coast to coast. Still a lot of money for the conference. And maybe that's a structure where that money maybe kind of circles back into the conference. I don't know. And the conference can do certain things. Probably not. It probably does go to the member institutions, but those institutions can get creative with the spending. So, look, the rich get richer in that regard. And here's the problem, Pilk, with the tournament numbers being as high as they are. We have talked about, with various guests on here and all of this, tournament expansion being a possibility. And I don't hate the idea of tournament expansion. I really don't. I think the 68 is a little clunky, but, the first four has now become kind of part of the deal. A lot of people have lamented over the fact that the Cinderellas no longer exist. But really, the excitement of the Cinderellas are the first 2 days of the tournament, and maybe the first two rounds. You might have one breakthrough and get to the Sweet 16 and become kind of an America's sweetheart story. But generally speaking, those are first-round upsets are what we're kind of looking at and what we like. And we've just not had a Cinderella breakthrough to the Sweet 16. We've maybe had fewer upsets in the first round than what we've had the last few years. So I understand all that, and I get all that. But see, now, with the Big Ten making this kind of money, 70 million, you said, right? 70 million?
Yep.
And the SEC in the arms race with them, and the ACC trying to keep pace. And the Big 12, which has emerged as a basketball power in many respects. Don't discount UConn in the Big East, because that's kind of the thing that's who they're carrying the banner for right now. For that conference, rather, is UConn in the Big East. Kind of like Duke and Carolina in the ACC, if we're being honest. But
Duke and who?
Well, historically. And when you look at, because there's not a ton of other ACC teams crawling to the Final Four every year.
Sure.
You got Virginia a few years ago, but Tony Bennett ain't walking through that door. So, I look at this will be the case for tournament expansion, because they'll say, look, people enjoyed watching Michigan and UConn on cable TV. Look at these numbers we did. And everybody laments college athletics. We do not like the direction it's going in. Yet, college basketball set huge viewership records, ratings records across the board this year. Across the board. And this tournament is the best rated one in 7 years for the final?
Yeah.
Crazy, man. Crazy. And so this emboldens the SEC and the Big Ten to push the expansion of the tournament talk. And the NCAA to comply, because the NCAA is the ultimate paper tiger.
Number two, during an interview early this week, Brian Hodgson, the new coach at Providence, formerly at South Florida, gave, I'll just let him say it, this update on what players are asking for in order to play basketball at Providence.
Matt, I haven't spoken to one kid on the phone that's asked for less than, or an agent, I should say, that's asked for less than $1 million. Not one.
Crazy.
And so right now is a little out of control.
He was on the field of 68. Yes, that is out of control. But it also shows you the level that a lot of these guys are playing in, and we'll see who spends that kind of money. I'm sure Hodgson, like a lot of coaches, is going after all of the top names he can find, the best players he can find, that sort of thing. I think there is a case to be made for if you can find a way to get because with this, there are schools that are just exclusively going to the portal. And, people certainly, and they had a right to a degree, not be happy with the way maybe that the portal money that was allocated in Greenville last year was spent. But that might, in some circles, that gets you one player, that whole budget, not multiple players. It's a tough deal for a lot of schools that are trying to figure out ways to build this roster, because roster construction is such a big thing. So that either tells me Hodgson is recruiting players that are at the very top of the list. A lot of these agents are listening because they do want to field the best offer. The kids don't care about where they go now. It's just where the kids make the most money. I mean, that's really what it is. And I don't think Providence is going to be spending $1 million a player. I'd be shocked if they were. Maybe
here's
they will,
the thing.
I don't think they will.
From what I understand, he turned the Syracuse job down because it sounded like he was going to have about $8 million to spend at South Florida. And from what I had kind of heard, is it sounds like Providence is going to have more money than South Florida. South Florida's going to have $22 million total, 14 going to football, 8 to basketball. Right. I've heard it could be close to 10, 9, somewhere between 9 and 10, but closer to 10 at Providence. So, hey man, they're damn near $1 million a player.
Yeah, but that's the starting asking price.
Yeah,
if there's going to be so. And look, if
that's probably you're going to have one guy who's going to be a $4 million guy if you want to be good. You're going to have one guy who's that.
Right. Or you go get a bunch of guys that are $1 million players. But you can't have a bunch of $1 million players. The way Iowa State kind of does it with, okay, this is our star, we pay our star, then we have the other two to create a big three, and then everybody else is a role player and we slot them as such. Seems like a brilliant way to do it.
Hey, they've been one of the most consistent teams the last few years. Clearly they're doing something right.
Clearly. Ryan has our number for next.
Number 3.
I like it. He changes it up. I never know what he's going with. I like it.
He goes something different every time.
I like it.
By the way, DeMarco has been on the morning show exclusively this week, hasn't he?
DeMarco is 107.9. He's producing a baseball game for us Friday, but I other than like our weekly meetings, I don't see DeMarco. He's Mark's boy.
He's going to slum it with us on Friday on the sports side.
Yeah, I guess so. But other than that, man, he's
done.
He gone.
All right, what you got, Bill?
All righty, number 3, the Department of Justice is looking into potentially the NFL violating antitrust laws due to all the streaming services that they are requiring you to have in order to broadcast games. The NFL has an antitrust exemption for negotiating its television contracts through the Sports Broadcast Act of 1961, which only applies to broadcast televisions. Courts have ruled in the past that does not apply to other media, including cable, satellite, and streaming.
I wonder why the DOJ then is opening this investigation into this. Is there a push to revise that 1961 Act and include streaming in it? I can't imagine there is, but I don't know. Is there?
I'm not sure. I've been saying this for years now. Look, I have no problem with Sunday Ticket. You got to pay for out-of-market games. The NFL's got to make their money somehow. But the fact that NFL Christmas Day games are only on Netflix, are you kidding me? I mean, this is ridiculous. You can't watch your own team play. Now, a lot of the local markets, whatever channel your preseason games are on, it's on. But still, it's a primetime game, a nationally televised game, and Thursday Night Football's on freaking Amazon. I mean, this just shows you what a money-crazed sack of crap that Roger Goodell is. The NFL claims to be a non-profit organization. Yeah, non-profit organization, my rear end. That is the biggest lie ever told. I mean, this is so stupid. just let people watch the damn games. Why do people have to pay? Somebody did the math today, and it's like $1,200 to watch the NFL this year. I mean, it's freaking ridiculous. It's NFL football. What do we do? You can get Premier League soccer, every Premier League soccer game for just the subscription of Peacock and any local cable providers that has USA Television for the entire year, and that's not even in our country. Stupid.
That could change, and it may change. This is all going towards the pay model. Let's be honest. This is all going toward ESPN is rolled out, not just ESPN Plus and ACC Network Extra and whatever the SEC network is calling their streaming, and then but they have actually rolled out the ESPN app, which they're charging a pretty big amount of money for, and you can do add-ons to that. So this is all going in that direction quite clearly. The thing is, everybody's got Netflix, Pilk. And if not, you got your buddy or your parents or your family password, so you have Netflix.
No, because now they've deemed it where you can only do it at your own location. Heck, I was trying to watch it the other day at work, and it said I wasn't at my home address. It's like, I'm on my laptop. I get 2 devices. That's one of my 2 devices. I was trying to tune into something. I'm 2 miles away from my house.
And you have nobody to complain to. At least with the cable company, you could eventually, well, in the good old days, you could get somebody on the phone.
Yeah, now you're going to talk to a damn robot.
Now you don't even get that. It's all, or talk. You're actually typing to a robot.
That's true, yeah.
So I think this, Pilk, and this is an extreme example. My late grandfather wanted to watch NFL football on Christmas Day. He was still with us at the time. He couldn't because he does not have Netflix. And so that's an extreme example because the man was close to 100 years old. Whereas a generation of the parents, the boomers, a lot of them are pretty hip with the streaming. So this is going to be more commonplace because then there's the generation below that, my generation, perhaps yours, that, okay, we'll stream, though we might do it begrudgingly. But the generation below us, the Ryan generation, that's all they do is stream. That's
You're right, but the problem is you shouldn't have to have every damn streaming service. I mean, you got to have Apple TV to watch Major League Baseball. Who the hell has Apple TV? Other than Ted Lasso, I know nothing about Apple TV. I haven't even seen that because I don't have freaking Apple TV. But I pay for the MLB package, and the Red Sox are on NESN. Now, I have no problem with Apple TV saying, hey, without the package, look, we give you 1 game a week. But still, if I pay for MLB Extra Innings, I should be able to watch every damn Red Sox game.
But there's a tipping point with television, even though we just talked about on cable, TBS and Turner set the record for viewership of the national championship game. These leagues and these exploding salaries and these exploding operating costs have to be covered somehow, and streaming is the next level on this media rights deal.
Well, maybe they just get paid less. I don't know. I mean, hell, they're already making hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean,
that will never happen.
I know. I'm not saying get rid of the caps, but clearly you got to the current salary cap without streaming. Just continue to do it. I mean, the NFL's getting all their, you know how they're getting their money? It's all the European contracts. There's some European countries you get up to 12 teams just straight off normal TV. That's where they're getting all the money. You keep doing it that way. Don't make us pay extra.
You know when this will change?
Never.
Well, when Jimmy and Jane Walmart reach their capacity.
We need a fans union. The fans need to strike.
Look at you, Mr. Right of Right, talking about a union.
444.
Wow.
Number 4. Interesting thing, Patrick, my dad has this saying. Soccer players pretend to be hurt. Hockey players lie to their coach and tell them they're not hurt. Well, 2 weeks ago, Thomas Chabot, top pairing defenseman for the Ottawa Senators, broke his arm. Okay. He will be playing tonight for the Ottawa Senators, who currently hold the last spot in the playoffs in the Eastern Conference. Only a hockey player, PJ, would do that. And Caleb Foster.
You went to hockey this week.
Yep.
And I always tell someone who says they are not have never seen a hockey game in person, go see it. Because it is the best display of athleticism in all of the sports, in my opinion. I realize NBA guys are doing tremendous things athletically. There's some really athletic NFL players, bigger, faster, stronger in all the sports. But the hockey guys are not only the most impressive athletes to me because of the conditioning, but also because of their sheer size and then the toughness. And this is just a wonderful display of toughness. Let me ask you this, Pilk. If this guy were an NBA guy, this were an NBA player, he'd be done. He'd have load managed his way to a certain point, and then he'd be done. He wouldn't be coming back for any kind of – because we've gotten to the point, even in the playoffs in the NBA, especially those early rounds, guys don't play. They'll load manage in the playoffs early on. It's insanity. And that is where the disconnect is with all this, why nobody wants to watch any of it. We're about to enter the best time of year, the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's the best hockey around.
It is.
Maybe the four nations, but the NHL playoffs, just brilliant, just beautiful. This guy's tough. So there you go. Other than rooting for soon-to-be my Carolina Hurricanes, currently your Carolina Hurricanes, this is a guy I'll be rooting for.
Well, if the playoffs started today, he'd be playing against your Carolina Hurricanes there, PJ.
I don't know. I always am on the fence that first game. I'm always on the fence.
5.
Mully's rushing us along, so give us a quick update on the Masters leaderboard.
Okay, Masters leaderboard. I've toggled over to something else on my computer now. Still Rory and Burns at the top at -5. Rose is -4 now through 13 holes.
Justin Rose.
A handful of 3 players currently sit at 3 under, all of them in the clubhouse. Patrick Reed, Kurt Kitayama, and Jason Day.
Jason Day. All right, I tell you what, we'll talk a little more Masters on the back end of the show. Let's hit a break, and when we come back, Mike Mullis will join us to talk ECU baseball and college baseball. Mike Mullis, ESPN Plus college baseball analyst on the other side.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers in Greenville, plus the all-new Tiebreakers in Winterville. Do real burgers better than anybody. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, real burgers at its best.
Everybody loves burgers.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation from a real person? Right. That's what's so nice about Phelps Chevrolet. After more than 50 years serving our community, Phelps remains family-owned and operated. Mike, Daryl, Wave, West, Alan, and Clay deliver hometown service and integrity, same as always. They share your experience, they share your values, and they are ready to help with any motoring need. Come get you one.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
Make every day electric on the Kawasaki Electro 20 electric balance bike. Maximize the fun with long run times, impressive top speed, and Kawasaki build quality. Easy adjustability and smooth handling make everyday riding more enjoyable. And the standard MTB type tires provide off-pavement capability. The Kawasaki Electro 20 is the electric balance bike that's built to rip. Go to Ron Ayers Motorsports, Memorial Drive north of the airport, Greenville.
Remember, get the podcast of the show on the IVX Media app or where you get your podcasts.
I listen on my Apple Watch. Smart speaker.
Listen while you work.
I listen everywhere.
The Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
All right, Mike Mullis joining us here on the Patrick Johnson Show. ESPN Plus college baseball analyst and analyst for ECU baseball. Mully, good to have you on. I want to tell the folks that all 3 games this weekend will be shown at Tiebreakers for Inside the Dugout with Mully. 7:30 Friday night, 7:30 Saturday night, 2 p.m. on Sunday. And you'll be joined by a great guest, including a plucky upstart named Patrick Johnson. Mully, great to have you on.
Always, buddy, always. And I'm looking forward to the weekend, PJ. We always have a good time talking ball, and hope everybody gets out. It should be a good offense against Tulane, and kind of make the effort to continue to climb the ladder in the American Athletic Conference.
It was a tale of 2 games on Tuesday against Duke. The Pirates jumped out 7-0. Ryan Towers no-hit baseball through 5 2/3, and was out of the game after going over 80 pitches. So it was good for him to have that outing. And then, Duke made their comeback. You used 3 key bullpen arms in the game that you maybe would like to have this week. And I'm sure they'll still be available and fine for the weekend, but you'd probably just as soon not been going to them. But I don't know, maybe so, because it seemed like these 3 that we used are the guys who are going to be kind of the main arms relied on in the, as you like to put it, high leverage situations.
Yeah, no, I think you're seeing the recipe for the foreseeable future for the Pirate Pen is going to be Rose. Throw Hoagland in there, the left-handed freshman. Obviously, Joe Webb has been a huge part of what the Pirates done, and then Sean Jenkins. And Sean Jenkins already at 32, 33 innings pitched. Webb just under 30. So we're seeing Danny Bill numbers. We're seeing innings eaten by those guys, and I think that quite frankly, back to your kind of previous statement about their availability, you're right. They will be available for the weekend, but you're also right that I don't think that it was desired to have to go to Webb, especially after him having to go twice in each of the last couple weekends, also to appear midweek. So, but, necessity dictated that they do go, or that he did go. And again, Sean Jenkins, kind of the same thing as that game, 7-run lead disappeared. Ryan Towers was absolutely outstanding. I did have a opportunity to text a little bit with Coach Knight as they were getting ready to turn their attention towards Tulane and then even begin travel. But just that, man, what an impressive adjustment that they made in kind of simplifying his mechanics, removing some of the early movement, and again, just try to make things easier, more repeatable. And, man, it absolutely paid dividends against a pretty good offensive club in Duke.
So you noted that the less movement, the gyrations, and the ticks that Towers was going through prior to wind-up, he reverted to it a time or two, but not as pronounced. But basically he was kind of erect, very, for Ryan Towers especially, compact in his delivery. So that was clearly something that they've concentrated on since UTSA.
Oh, yeah, listen, I think if my count's not off, and I'd have to go back and closely audit the game, but I think we saw the kind of old mechanical, whatever, however you want to phrase it, the old wind-up is probably the easiest way to phrase it. I think we saw it about 4 times, PJ, and I don't think any of them were strikes. What I paid more attention to is you would actually see him address the pitching rubber and work in reverse of what his tendency was. His tendency was always to bend forward, almost like bowing to the plate. You would see him literally toe the rubber and literally lean back as almost a reminder to stay more upright and to, again, stay into the change that they made. So, man, I was extremely impressed. And he's a guy that he's very, very easy to cheer for. If you saw his post game, he is a self-deprecating, very self-aware, funny, great sense of humor, great personality kid. And, he came in here with huge expectations, had a lot of success. So it's good to see him get back to that. And I think, quite honestly, we talk about how beat up the Pirate bullpen and Pirate pitching staff is, and it's a real thing. You're missing, obviously, with Weber and Van Kempen, 2 big arms. Not sure exactly what Moran's availability is going to be. The left-hander has been really good when he's been available and healthy. That certainly is part of the story, but I also don't think we need to look past the fact of what you've gotten recently out of both Luke Payne and Ryan Towers as, I don't want to say replacement innings. It would certainly be nice to have all those guys healthy. But, PJ, at a certain point, there aren't enough innings to go around. And so some of these guys are taking advantage of the opportunity that they're given. And, again, Payne and Towers have been a huge part of the story as of late for this Pirate staff.
Mike Mullis with us here. So it'll be Ethan Norby tomorrow night, more than likely. And we saw him perhaps dial back the clock to a year ago at UTSA. A huge outing. He was outstanding. Not as sharp against Charlotte in the Friday start, which was game 2 of the series. It kind of kept him on the Friday to Friday run, so as not to, mess around with his preparation in the week leading up. And that was a game where, again, that was almost 3 games in one game, and ECU eventually came back and won. And I think that was a big, on the whole, a big victory. But on the micro, when we talk about Norby, not his sharpest outing, and when you look at the last 2 weeks for Ethan Norby, what is the real Ethan Norby?
Yeah, I don't know, and I think probably when he walks by a mirror, he's probably asking himself that same question, and it's a little unfortunate. I know it's extremely frustrating for him. Listen, I mean, he wanted to come out and better his year from last year, which would have been nearly impossible to do. So I know it's got to be very frustrating. These guys work very, very hard at their craft. And you got to feel like in Norby's situation, there were some mechanical adjustments, things that he did during the off season to get better. But you got to feel like this is largely kind of a situation that's more, between the ears and behind the eyes, kind of a mental deal. So, you're right though, man. Outing before last, it was vintage Ethan Norby, spectacular. I use the term. This past weekend, it was kind of here we go again. We back to square one. So, but yeah, that Friday game as it relates to the entirety of the effort for the Pirates, Lynn Hartzell sent me a text. Our buddy Lynn Hartzell, longtime coach, and he sent me a text, and he was exactly right, so I'm going to steal a phrase from him. He said that was a character win. That was a gutsy, hard-fought performance to come back and get that game. And that could be one that we look back on, and I think we're always looking for this, especially in baseball where we have so many opportunities. But that could be one we look back on, circle, and go, okay, that could have been a turning point, and it ultimately leading to a great sweep of the 49ers with bookended run roll games and then a comeback. So, I do think it was a great weekend, and that in particular was a gutsy effort and one that the Pirates just truly found a way to win.
Let me talk to you a little bit about Jack Herring. It's either 30 Is it 31 or 32 games he's reached in a row? I was looking for some of my notes here, and I could not find them, which makes me a bad host because I should have had them in front of me. But the point is that he has been fantastic. And Jack Herring is a big reason I think right now the Pirates are on a 5-game streak to the good.
Yeah, I mean, Jack is one of those guys. I don't think and just speak to him specifically because you are the host, and that's where we went. I think Herring has almost quietly done what he's done. And some of that, I do think he's still at some level dealing with the shoulder, but he has still found a way to be productive. You know, again, we talk about turning point moments. If we go back to him last year at Charlotte, since then, so we're almost a year out now. I would love to, and this would be an interesting stat dive, but I would love to know what his numbers are prior to that. Obviously, not as big a body of work, but the numbers since then. I think you're going to be very surprised at how productive he has been over that probably nearly 60 games. But Jack Herring has certainly been a huge part of what they've done offensively. But I have to say, I mean, you can't ever, when you're talking offensive baseball and you're talking East Carolina University, and you're talking about this team, you obviously have to talk about Braden Burris. Clearly, you got to talk about the super freshman and Grady Linehan, and Colby Wallace is here. Here comes that guy. Kind of seems like he was lying in the weeds, but all of a sudden he's stringing it together. We're starting to see better at bats and more productivity. And I say starting to see. He's another one of these guys that when you look at streaks, he's had a number of them. So, there are certainly some positive things that have happened offensively in the last, what we call it, 8-10 games. You had Jeff Sabater's contributions in there. I mean, can you talk about it without talking about Davin Whitaker? And then, Walker Barron with a couple home runs against Charlotte. So it goes on and on and on, and the scoreboard has been reflective of the total team assault that this offense has laid on, especially on UNC Charlotte and all their opponents kind of late.
Let me run back really quick to the Linehan play as of late. You have described him as toolsy. If you'll tell the listening audience what you mean by that, and then is this just a case of the evolution and journey of a supremely talented player and all of that coming to fruition in his first year of college baseball?
Yeah, so just from a generic definition of toolsy, there are, basically 5 tools, 5 tools, depending on who you talk to, that ball players are measured on, and speed, strength, bat the ball ability, arm strength, just the tangible things that you look for in a good player. And he is super high in all those categories. And then he, from an evolutionary standpoint, as far as this season and his career's going, in a short career to this point, we saw the ups and downs early. Like there were the moments of, okay, that's pretty impressive. We go back, obviously the easiest game is the Carolina game at Durham, the big home run, and then another ball that very nearly got out of the park. And then you kind of look forward, and he kind of fell off, right? And you saw him slide down to that 9 spot or 8-9, depending on matchups, and then he kind of caught fire again. And now this fire seems to be burning longer, hotter, brighter. It just seems to be a sustained flame. I think it's very, very reminiscent of Braden Burris as a freshman. Braden Burris opening day, he's in the lineup. He has some struggles. He comes out of the lineup for a number of games, gets his opportunity again, and never looks back. I would be curious to know if the outfield group that they had heading into the season were all still healthy. So if you add Alex Peltier, if you add Braxton Trammell, trying to think if there's another one. It seems like there's another one. Jack Vogley. If those guys are all healthy, are we talking about Davin Whitaker? Are we talking about Linehan's had a chance to continue to develop almost again out of necessity? The defensive skills have always been there. Undeniable how good and easy he makes it in center field. But it's the other things, and it's the offensive approach, it's the comfort in the base running, and we've seen him stealing bags and just all the things that he's brought to the table. A dude that is super fun to watch.
I know you got to go, but let's get a primer on the Tulane series. This is a Tulane team that seemed to have high expectations again coming into the year, and the Green Wave have kind of again underachieved a little bit. Lost to Lamar in the midweek, and are 500 coming in. I think a game under in conference coming in. So, but this has been a tough place for ECU to play in New Orleans, and you got 2 night games there for what that is worth. How do you see this kind of playing its way out in the Big Easy?
Yeah, the Wave, they're 17-17, and you said, a game under 500 in the conference, and kind of dwelling at the top of the bottom, if you will, the bottom third. Came off a tough run with UAB, but right now, UAB's playing as good as anybody in the conference.
Amazing.
I think this is a great opportunity for the Pirates to go in and again win a series, move up in the conference. Just depending on what happens around them. But if they go in there and take care of business, I really, really like the Pirates' chances. When I look at the numbers, it's the pitching staff that is the strength of this Tulane team. It's really, really strange, P. They've got one guy that's got 6 starts, but he also has 12 relief appearances. They've got another guy. Yeah. So they're not afraid to use guys, and that's their number one guy is what it appears. I think it's maybe J.D. Rodriguez. He's at the kind of the top of their numbers. He's got 30-some innings pitched already. It's just it's a very strange looking stat line as you look at the pitchers. But when you look at the bottom line, teams are only hitting like 251 against them. So they have had success, and that side of it could be interesting. The nice part is, the Pirates are swinging the bats. They've been swinging the bats for an extended period of time. Largely, there's been some lulls. But, it's, again, overall series, I think the pressure's on Tulane. I think the Pirates obviously need to go in there and take care of business. I feel like a 2-win weekend should be almost an expectation. A sweep would be outstanding, although, we talk about it a lot. Very, very hard to come by in college baseball in this environment. But I like the Pirates against the Green Wave. I look forward to it, and maybe, maybe Friday night we get that shot in the arm that Ethan Norby can provide when he's really, really good. And maybe this turns into a thing where Ethan Norby's just a road warrior, and we'll take that. If we could have him good on the road and have a chance to start with an opportunity to win Friday night's game, put you in the driver's seat for the rest of the series. If that's the worst case scenario, then we'll take it.
The great Mike Mullis. It is Inside the Dugout with Mully and Patrick Johnson this weekend at Tiebreakers, and we'll be there 7:30 on Friday night, 7:30 on Saturday night, 2 on Sunday. Come on out and watch some Pirate baseball with us. And this is a great interactive thing. We do a little trivia, a little you make the call, a little running commentary of what's going on. Lots of Mully in there, so that's exciting. Looking forward to having a big crowd. Hope folks will come out. All right, Mully, see you tomorrow night, and thank you for the time.
Thank you, pal. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, Bill.
Thanks,
great
Mully.
Mike Mullis with us here. All right, stay tuned. When we return, we're going to run down always anonymous text line. Are you and Mully buying the beer? I'll tell you this, Keith. If you show up, I'll buy you a beer. If you show up, I'll be there. All right, come back with more of the Patrick Johnson Show right after these words. We'll look at the Masters leaderboard.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human. About creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leyva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice agency.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
Daughtridge Gas and Oil has been your dependable propane supplier for 95 years. Their trained technicians can service and properly install all your propane and natural gas appliances. Plus, Daughtridge Gas and Oil is your backyard expert with fire pits, grills, smokers, and more, including quality outdoor furniture at their Greenville Patio and Hearth Shop at 1901 Charles Boulevard. Go by and see the knowledgeable staff at Daughtridge Gas and Oil for propane delivery or call 756-1345.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation from a real person? Right. That's what's so nice about Phelps Chevrolet. After more than 50 years serving our community, Phelps remains family-owned and operated. Mike, Daryl, Wave, West, Alan, and Clay deliver hometown service and integrity, same as always. They share your experience, they share your values, and they are ready to help with any motoring need. Come get you one.
We're back to the show.
I missed you. We all missed you. Did you miss them?
This is the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
Pilgrim, are we just going to get out here at a little bit or try to do 2 more segments? What are we doing here?
I have to get ready for the Jim Taunton Show, so I think we get out here. Yeah.
Okay.
A little easier to get everything saved and his stream started, your stream ended. So that's my vote.
Taunton, by the way, big ECU baseball fan.
Mega ECU. That guy might be the biggest ECU baseball fan I know. Seriously. And I mean that.
Todd Howell may be there with him.
Yeah.
Todd Howell could be there with him. Then you got Dill Day. There are a lot of mega fans with megaphones, some of them.
Yes.
Sam Burns and Rory McIlroy are tied for the lead at the Masters, both 5 under. Rory really got it going on the back 9. Kurt Kitayama is in a tie with 4 others, including Justin Rose, who's out on the course right now. He is 3 under, as is Kitayama, Jason Day, and then Patrick Reed. I kind of like Patrick Reed in this. A little chip on the shoulder for Patrick Reed. I gave you my prediction. I think it's Reed and Rory in the final group on Sunday.
Okay.
I
like it.
As far as I'm willing to go. Now, Shane Lowry's 2 under. Xander Schauffele is 2 under. Gary Woodland and Scotty Scheffler are both out on the course, and they are 2 under. And it looks like every time I've looked in on Scotty, it looks like he's having he's missing some putts that I to me he would not miss. Is that accurate, Pilk? I mean, I was interviewing him and they're not really paying attention, but
yeah.
He just seems like he's missing. But by the way, Jordan Spieth hanging out at 1 under. You think it goes to 12 under is what you told me before? You think that's what the
I said the winning score is 11 or 12. I'm going 12. It's the weather's supposed to be good. Course is in good condition. I'm going to go 12.
Well, it's the typical Masters deal. The first 3 days, I'm not saying it's easy, but they reward good golf and want there to be scoring out there. And then they make it hard as hard can be, difficult and challenging as it can be on Sunday.
Today, though,
that it would be a little bit of movement.
Yeah.
Today, it's challenging today, but typically
it's challenging. You've been able to be forgiven off the tee today. Yeah, we mentioned it kind of earlier in our first segment. We don't have time to get into it. Rory missed his first 6 fairways and was even. He had a 1 birdie and 1 bogey there early. He yanked his drive on one. The kid he's playing with, the amateur, hit his drive on the next tee box or the next fairway, and he was able to get it. Yeah. Well, I would have went right. He went left. But yes, other than that, because bad golfers slice, good golfers pull. But he was able to hit his approach up onto the fringe and then technically get a chip and a putt. Technically,
right?
But it was a 2-putt. For par, and Rory was able to scramble for some pars. So you're still having to be a great second shot golfer this week, but it's been a little forgiving off the tee box, and I think it's just due to the fact that it is dry, not real windy. We'll see. It won't stay that way the rest of the week. I'm not saying it's easy. It's Augusta National, but we've seen some guys. Maybe their score, I guess, is a little better than what it seems like they're playing.
Has it gotten tougher in the afternoon? Is that part of this too?
I haven't been able to watch as much. Yeah, I haven't been able to watch as much this afternoon as I was this morning. But I think it's
that on scores. Yeah, I'm just basing that on who's out on the course now and kind of what's going on. I don't know. It seems it'd be interesting to get an idea of how. And I think you accurately described it, how the course is playing and how it's going to play.
We got 2.5 minutes. You want me to call our guy McGinnis and see if he can give us a live update?
John's on the air right now. I wish we could talk to him live, but I'm pretty sure he's on the air right now in some fashion or form. Let's see. Tomorrow on the program, speaking of golf, the director of golf for ECU is Kevin Williams. The women's team is coming off a big victory, and Nicole Nash is coming off a big individual honor. We're going to talk with him tomorrow on the program, and also our friend Brett Friedlander on the week that was in college sports. Also, he was for Sports HQ at the press conference for Michael Malone, who the guy that writes for the Carolina website, Andrew Jones, he won the press conference. Now, that guy's a uber Carolina fan, covering the heels. And Andrew does a good job. Andrew's a talented guy. But won the press conference. And he did. He had a good press conference. But again, I remind you, so did Scotty Montgomery.
Scotty Threemo. Yeah. Hey, but look, I'm sure you still got to win the press conference, though. It doesn't mean you're going to be successful, but it puts you in good faith with the fans.
Who doesn't win the press conference, Bill?
That's what I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to think, is there a guy who just went out there and made a jerk of himself? There's got to be, right? It's just not coming to mind.
They all win the press conference. Some are a little more effervescent than others. All right, we'll be back tomorrow, same time, same channel, and an exciting edition of the show tomorrow. Thanks to Mike Mullis for being with us here today. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday evening, everybody. Thanks to Pilk, thanks to intern Ryan. Catch you tomorrow. Have a great evening.